Spotty gotta do? What?
Welcome back, guys. It's your boy, Japanese Tutor. And today we're going to go over the Open Sicilian Scheveningen formation, and we're going to go, this is basically a part B, and it's White's G4, G5 plan. So we're just going to go over it. So Tarash called the G2, G4 the harakiri move, and hara means samakiri, means to cut. So for those of you who know the Japanese word, good for you guys. Because it seemed suicidally loosening. But in the Sicilian, the push G5 has a positional punch. It makes D5 for black difficult to achieve except as a sacrifice. And by driving a knight off F6, it makes black think twice about E5. Now, if you want to know the book I'm reading from, just the link's going to be down below if you want to follow along. It's a great book. It's Pawn Structure Chess by Andrew Soltis, and it's a new one, not the one with the old notation, but with the algebraic notation. Okay, anyways, the main purpose of G2, G4, G5 is to attack the king. There are two basic cases of the push: when it is accompanied by F2, F4, and when accompanied by F2, F3. So the latter has become increasingly common in opening systems such as the English, and I'm going to mispronounce this one, but the Veli Mirovic. There we go, got it. Attacks. All right, so let's go right into it, and he gives us a sample game that we can learn from. So E4, C5, Knight F3, E6, D4, C captures D4, Knight captures D4, Knight C6, Knight C3, Queen C7, Bishop E3, A6, Queen D2, Knight F6, F3, Bishop E7, G4, D6, castles, G5, and Knight D7. So here it's white to play. So by keeping his pawn at F3, white supported G2, G4 and protects the E pawn, one of black's natural targets. White does not need F2 to F4 to F5 to open lines because he can do it with H2, H4, H5 and G5, G6. In fact, if white feels the need to attack, or if white feels the need to attack, that's not good English. He can push the G pawn as a sacrifice. So after H4, B5, there's a good maneuver here. So knight captures C6, queen captures C6, and then knight E2. And then after that, knight D4, because the knight is extremely strong on D4. And if you ever want to kick that knight out, you can only kick it off with the E pawn. And then we have a lot of amazing squares for the knight. And this just helps our kingside attack even further. But white can attack immediately with G6. So instead of that, you can play G6 immediately. And if H captures G6, then H5. And then they're saying if F captures G6 is no good. Because if knight captures E6, obviously. Or if knight captures D4, let me play G captures H7, check, and all is well. But anyways, after H4, B5, there's actually a game in where Adams, and I'm assuming it's the very, very famous grandmaster who always plays B6, one of my favorite players. He's such an awesome GM. And Sheldon, back in 1997, black was in trouble. After G6, they played knight F6, G captures H7, check, king captures H7, Knight captures on c6. Queen captures on c6. Bishop d3. King h8. Rook d to g1. And the game ended after b4 and then bishop h6. This is the fire on the board that everybody needs in their game. I would love to play bishop h6 in one of my games. Like, it's just so beautiful. Bishop h6, rook g8, e5. Threatening bishop captures g7, rook captures g7, and queen h6 with mate. Beautiful. e5, and then they play g6. E captures f6. B captures c3. Queen g5. And it is GG. So this is a really, really beautiful maneuvering. Well, this game in particular was a very, very beautiful game. So I like the plan. I like this plan a lot because it's like kind of my style, like where I want to play the G pawn to attack the knight and kind of go for this kind of attack. And then there's a last option. So white's knight captures c6 and then the c2, c4 option. So let's go back. So when the Scheveningen variation was young, and even strong players felt c captures d4 and a6 weakened queenside squares, and pawns could be exploited by knight capture c6. So this is Spielman versus Yui. I think it's Yui. Yui actually has a plan in the Stonewall Dutch. So if you haven't watched that video, I go over that plan in the Stonewall Dutch series. I think it's like 16 videos or 17 videos. But anyways, next week we're going back to the Dutch. So look forward to that. So anyways, let's go all the way back. E4, C5. Is it Uva? Hey everybody, welcome. Yeah, it's a really, really big series on the Dutch. Like, I put in a lot of work and there's a lot of hours in there. And you will definitely come out with a lot of knowledge. Fun fact about that. I didn't play the Dutch before that series. And now I do in my record. I have an 80% record win rate. 80% win rate with it. So anyways, E4, C5, knight F3. After knight F3, knight C6. D4, C captures D4. Knight captures D4. Knight F6. Knight C3. D6. Bishop E2. E6. Castles. Bishop E7. Bishop E3. Castles. Queen D2. And A6. So black's last move rolls out an attack on the D6 pawns by means of rook A D1 and knight 4 to B5. So here white played knight capture C6. B capture C6. And then he went rook FD1. Queen C7. Bishop, and then he played F3. Not bishop 3. He wants to pressure the queenside with bishop f1 and queen f2, or aim at the isolated a pawn with queen e1, queen f1. However, black stood well after d5. So even after some other moves like bishop b7, rook fd8, and e5 in mind, white's queenside pressure ran out of steam while black's chances grew. So this is the way that this setup doesn't work. So they're saying that this was like an old plan, but they didn't include c2 to c4. So they're saying this is not what the best plan is, and this is in the infancy of the Scheveningen structure. But if you add c2, c4, it can be good if you capture on c6. So let's go back. And let's go into how it can be good. So e4, c5, knight f3, g6, d4, takes on d4, knight takes, knight f6, knight c3, a6, d9, bishop e2, e6, f4, bishop e7, bishop f3, castles, castles, knight c6, knight captures c6 here, bishop e3. So white's plan is to play knight a4 and then c4. He may then push c4, c5 if he can trade the c pawn for the d pawn and create an isolated target pawn at c6. So black replied with a traditional answer to the knight captures c6 plan at d5 and continued with e5, knight d7, knight a4, a5, and then c4. So here it is not recommended to take, just because you open up a whole bunch of lines, and even like this is like really strong. So bishop a6, b3. And the tactics would favor white's bishop after b captures c4 because of takes here. So the game instead went rook c8, rook f2, and bishop a3. If d captures c4, then we have this strong move. If rook c7, then we have knight c5, and it's looking kind of grim. So instead of that, after rook f2, bishop a3, queen d2, then bishop b4, queen c1, bishop e7, rook c2. Black realized the enemy position will keep getting better if he can play queen b2. And then bishop e2, rook ac1, and a well-timed c captures d5. He felt obligated to change the pawn structure, but c5 would just drop a pawn due to c captures d5. Right? So he chose f6 instead. But this made it hard. Bishop g4 is actually like amazing, threatening just a whole bunch of stuff. And it's really hard to defend against this threat. And since f5, bishop e2 would leave black with 0 counterplay, he desperately tried a different move. He tried king f7, but he was losing after queen f1, threatening bishop captures e6, a king captures e6, f5, and then it's just all over from there. And the game ended after this, so he played g6, bishop captures e6, and he played king g7. If takes, now he gets into a world of hurt because of takes. Let's say c captures d5 instead. C captures d5, and now queen captures a6 is GG. Where's the king going? If king f7, bam, e6. You know, also we can take here as well. Or we're probably going to take there, most likely. But take, and take. Anyways. So he played king to g7. King to g7. And then bishop captures d7. Queen captures d7. Knight b6. Queen f5. Captures on c8. Rook captures on c8. Oops. And queen f2. and this is pretty much resignable, and he did resign. So thank you for staying with me, and if you made it to the end of this video, congratulations, you're an amazing chess player and a patient one at that. So I'll see you next time, and all the links are going to be down below for the Patreon, for the Discord. If you want to go with like-minded people and talk to them, come through. And also sub, it's free, just do it, and like the video. Bye.